So someone asked this week about what my thoughts were on probiotics, and short and simple, I love them. I think that they are amazing. Now, there's a wide variety of strands that you can get, and there's a lot of differences in the quality of the brands that you get, and there's certain things that you have to keep in mind, like a lot of the packaging that is used for probiotics don't necessarily help to keep those bacterial strains alive. So you need to do a little bit of research on what the different strands are that you're buying, also the quality of the company and the packaging that you're getting, so that you're not paying money for something and then essentially getting bacteria that's already dead. The other thing that's really important is the count. There are a number of brands that are available that have very low counts, where like they're under 1 billion per serving, and that's just terrible. Like, that's just is a waste of money. The higher counts are typically much more beneficial. Now, again, you want to look into the quality of the brand and the packaging that they have. Also, the type that's in there. Like you want a variety of strands. But I was just reading this book that was called Brain Maker. It's by Dr. Perlmutter. It's a fantastic book that talks about the why of probiotics and gut health, not just what to do for it. And it does talk about what to do for it, as far as like taking supplementation and the right foods and prebiotics, feeding it the right fibers in order to feed the gut bacteria that you want, and fermented foods, etc. But the thing that I love about it, the thing that I'm addicted to when it comes to information, is talking about why is it important and how is it going to help you. 75% of the serotonin in your body is developed in the gut. That's huge. If you are someone who deals with lethargy, depression, any of the symptoms associated with that due to low serotonin, even if it's not getting to a point where it's clinical depression, like 3/4 of how you feel based on serotonin comes from your gut. Your ability to create serotonin is going to be largely influenced by the health of your digestion, which is the gut bacteria and your microbiome. 25% of the conversion of T3 happens in the gut. So your thyroid health, 1/4 of it. So the energy that you have in your metabolic rate, gut. The cravings that you have for food, whether they are sugar-based, fat-based, etc., they come from the microbiome. The bacteria in your gut, which digests food, instigates cravings. How much energy that you're able to derive from food comes from the microbiome. That energy is then used to drive recovery, have brain function, athletic performance, etc. How healthy the lining of your gut is, whether it's inflamed or not, which can then allow for leaky gut syndrome, which allows for substances to get into the bloodstream, which then drives an autoimmune reaction or to have food sensitivity, is all driven, not caused necessarily, but this is something that the book talks about, but driven by the microbiome. The microbiome is instigated and can be repopulated by probiotics, and then fed, nourished, and helped by the prebiotics of the foods that we eat. There are a host of conditions and symptoms and related illnesses and disease that go along with having an unhealthy microbiome that are either made worse or caused. And you can help to take care of these things, or at least decrease the severity of these things, by taking the proper probiotic. This is another situation where the devil is in the details that people don't talk about, because if you ask a question as simple as, how do you feel about probiotics? I love them. I take one every single day. I drink kombucha. I try to make sure that I have a healthy source of fiber every single day to work with the prebiotic, and then I eat foods which are going to drive the proper microbiome that I want to have for the things that I want to be able to take care of for myself. And I'm only able to answer those questions because I've done the research to figure out what are the different options, and then of those options, which ones work best for me. So the advice that's more important than, should or should you not take probiotics, you need to look into what do you need. What are your goals? What are you trying to do by taking a probiotic? Because maybe you don't need a probiotic that has 70 billion count. Maybe you need something a lot less. Maybe you need something higher. Maybe you need it more often, less often. And each person is going to be different because each microbiome is different in order to fit them as a person and their life and their environment. So you have to answer those questions. Simple answer, what are my thoughts? I love them. Better answer, I love the right ones. For the right reason, to match the person taking them. Now, if someone has questions on that, again, I'm not a doctor, but having lived with celiacs and needing to figure these things out on my own because I didn't get a lot of help from doctors about it, or nutritionists, or dietitians, no one was answering these things for me, so I had to learn and figure it out on my own. In the process, you accumulate a lot of knowledge that I am happy to pass on as general advice to anyone who's interested. And hopefully, that advice can then be taken to a medical provider and used for that person's benefit. I really hope that happens. So a long-winded answer to a basic question. Those are my thoughts on probiotics. Everyone should be taking them, but everyone should be taking what they need in the amount that they need for their own specific purpose and goals.